What up, y'all? So I am back at it with another standard deck. If you watch the channel, you know I like to break down the metagame, play a bunch of decks that are either gaining some popularity or at least in the metagame to try and see how good they are, you know, seeing how to play them best, all that type of stuff. This time is actually kind of a variation of a deck that seems to be... I can't tell how good it is, to be perfectly honest. So Egg Warlock is a thing. It's a deck in the format. I personally don't think it's very good. I think it's a little slow, but it does have a lot of good tools. So I figured, why don't I try kind of a different avenue? I've been wanting to try Possessed Animancer with Ultragigasaur in some kind of Warlock build for a hot minute. So I figured maybe putting that in the Egg Warlock would give it just like a couple dimensions to play with. Because sometimes you don't get an Eggbearer and you don't get the egg. And then you're just sitting there like trying to use your hero power, but trying not to lose too much life to it, and like it just becomes this weird thing. So I figure if you have a couple avenues, that and in addition to that, you have Deathwing and Ultraxion. There's also Endbringer Umbra, which now has multiple uses if you've got Animancer and the egg. So I just figure it's kind of interesting. Played 1 or 2 practice games. It was kind of fun, but let's see how I can actually do. I already made a video about Egg Warlock, and I went 0-5, just straight up. So I'm hoping this does a little bit better. I don't know that I won any practice games with Egg Warlock, but I did win at least one game with this when I was just feeling it out. So I think there's probably something here. I did also recently play in a qualifier, and in that qualifier I was playing Egg Warrior, because I like that deck a lot. I think it's got a lot of potential. However, I played against Egg Warlock, and Egg Warlock can steal your egg and then eat it with their heralded minions, the Cho'Gall guys. So they did that, and I was like, well, I have nothing else. So 2 morals of the story. One, I'm not sure what place Egg Warlock has in the metagame except to counter other Warlock decks, or other egg decks. And number 2, that's why I play the quest in Egg Warrior now, because it gives you an alternate way to win. Also, Rotten Apple is something I'm trying in this, and I like it so far. I don't know that it's necessary here. So this is either Rafam or another egg deck. Either way, I'm not super concerned about Rotten Egg, I think. Yeah, Eggbearer's great. And yes, I call this Eggimancer. It's a technical term, it's a... Okay, so getting some good draws. Shrine is great. Actually a really decent card, especially if you have this curve from Eggbearer to Egg to Shrine. I like the card advantage of Shrine. Now, I do have to be conscious of Cursed Chains. That is one thing just to be aware of. So if I go Egg, and then they Curse Chains and take it, and then eat it, that's really bad. I don't think they can yet. They can't at least do that in the same turn. They can take it, but then I don't think they have the resources to eat it as well, so... that's just something to be conscious of over the next couple of turns. I think because I have Possessed Animancer, I'm okay with running out the egg. Only problem is if they do steal it, it'll be a 20-20 versus Ultragigasaur's a 14-28. Pay me no mind. So I think it's worth the risk here, because otherwise I'm just sitting around. I am tempted to sit around. Because if I sit here until Possessed Animancer, if they steal that, I don't think they have any good targets in their deck. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I think that's probably the play. Because Cursed Chains would be extremely brutal here. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. Because I think it's safer to go the Possessed Animancer route first. However, if they go egg and start breaking their own egg, then that could be problematic too. So, I don't know. I can't play around 2 cards that are potentially in their deck when I don't even know what's in their deck yet. So, okay, they've played 2 Fractured Power so far. That's interesting and a little unsettling. Alright, let's do this. Double Rotten Apple, okay. Yeah, that seems great. I'm totally okay with that. Let's just keep eating our guy.
Death itself draws near.
Yeah, and this is kind of the problem with Egg Warlock, is like, I'm sitting here just trying to kill my own minion. If I had any sort of pressure on me right now, I don't think I would survive very long. Obviously, I have 1 piece of removal and 2 rotten apples, so there's that. However, I don't know how long that would really make me last against something like Herald Shaman or... Interesting, they're playing Gnarlex and Fire Rock? So I have no clue what they're doing over there, but... Oof. Yeah, this is good for me. This is fantastic. Oh my god, they just gave me the... Alright, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna do... Can I kill them? Yeah, I got Hellfire. I can kill them. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of casting spells at random. Fire Rock is one of the only exceptions to that rule, but even Fire Rock can be problematic. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, like, if there was any sort of pressure on me during that game, I don't know that I could have done that well. And that's part of why I didn't do super well when I played Egg Warlock. Didn't do super well. 0-5 is horrendous. But I don't know. There are ways to get around it. I mean, Hellfire is a great card. Rotten Apple seems to be pretty good. And Curse Chains with your heralding ability does also seem pretty solid, but it's really difficult to have any semblance of like aggression with this deck.
Nothing stands in my way.
Corruption is at my beck and call.
Alright, this is a decent hand. I think we're gonna do this. Hellfire is also decent. Probably gonna do well against a Death Knight. At least it'll buy me a turn or two. Moon Jockey says, I've been doing horrible, stuck at Diamond 5. I have good decks, but can't seem to play right this expansion. Dude, yeah, this expansion has really changed the metagame to like a kind of a place that I don't think most of us were ready for. It's really, really changed the way you have to think about the format, and like, I've been playing since the day of release, and seeing the evolution every single day has been fascinating, because I've been playing Magic the Gathering for like 20 years. Yeah, definitely fun, but there's definitely this weird, awkward element to it, because I think I've noticed this a lot, especially with Magic the Gathering, but I've been playing Hearthstone for about a decade, so I've seen it plenty there. A lot of times people will see cards and they're like, oh, this is amazing, this is broken. And then they play it and they're like, oh, this is actually not very good. And then the inverse always happens, where you're like, oh, you know, this card seems kind of meh, and then you just get blown out by it. So I think we had a lot of that happening in this format over the first couple of days, because once, for example, we figured out Imbue Druid, you know, that deck was crazy. That was all over the place. There was about 2 days where probably half, yeah, at least 50% of the games I played were against Imbue Druid. Just phenomenal deck. I think I went like 8-1 the first round of games I played with it. It was bonkers. But once we started seeing where the power actually lies, because that's the fascinating thing about new sets, they always change up where the power exists and how we use that power level. Yeah, I'm also very tired of playing Imbue Druid, or playing against it, yeah. Like, I played it, like, a little bit, and every time I play a tournament or a qualifier, I have it in there because I feel like I have to, but it's really unfortunate. It reminds me of a lot of metagames in the past where you're like, you have to play this deck, otherwise you're just not going to do well. So, it is what it is. I want to say I'm okay just playing Egg here. Yeah, I'm over here babbling about the metagame. But yeah, this is a very fascinating metagame. Really, it's one of those evolutions that I think is worth really paying attention to, and I hesitate to use the word, but even studying the way that this metagame is evolving, because I think it's very telling about someone's adaptability. Like, the first couple of days, I had a hard time adapting to this metagame. I was just losing just about every game I was playing, even when I was playing decent decks. But I think that's because the metagame was evolving so rapidly, and it was a weird thing to adapt to. It was very interesting. I'm not really worried about this guy. Let's see. So if I curse Catacombs, I would love to see a possessed Animancer here. I can coin that out. And I think that might be good.
Think these things through.
I'm not sure. I think we're going to try. Show me possessed Animancer? No. Okay. Why don't we... This seems good, actually. Yeah, that's
not
fine.
a virtue I pride myself on. I am in danger.
Oh yeah, you play Magic also, Moonjockey. Dude, Magic is crazy. I started playing Magic around... I mean, I played in like middle school. A lot of nonsense. Doesn't really count. But I really started playing competitively around 2008, 2009, something like that. It was right around when Planeswalkers started becoming a big thing. And I compare... So nowadays, I compare basically every deck I ever play or play against to Jund from like 2009. And it's like it's a cool piece of Magic history, because I feel like it set a standard for power and efficiency of decks of basically any game. And like mid-range Shaman in the last format reminded me so much of Jund, because it did so many things like it that were just incredibly efficient. And on the surface, you're like, oh, you're just playing cards that seem like they give you a little bit of value, but then when you actually play them, you're like, oh, the value stacks, and you start compounding really fast. I think Hellfire's the play here. Yeah, and then we Shadow. This seems good. We're 2 breaks away, so we can do this. Yeah, and I'm kind of chilling here. The leeches can eat the egg, yes, but it does give them more health, which I don't like too much. I don't know. I think I'd rather be a little more proactive than not. They're literally trying to kill the egg. I'm so confused right now. There we go. That would make sense why. Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's see. So... that's why we play Endbringer Umbra, which I guess is alright. But... Ultraxion's not bad.
It's good to think these things through.
I almost want to just take this. It's kind of a waste of Curse Chains, but I think it's okay. Yeah, let's draw some cards. Let's get some card advantage here. Alright, so maybe I could have played around that a little bit better, but I am also over here blabbing about metagames and stuff, so... Comes with the territory. Oh no, you're good, Moonjockey. Dude, I could talk about metagames and evolutions and stuff like that just for hours on end. Like, I believe deck building and the creativity that comes from it is just like a lost art. Like, the amount of people that just pull decks off the internet and don't ever think about it is really unfortunate. It makes me kind of sad. I think we're going to eat this guy. This is actually a great use of this, because then that gives me the Reborn copy, and they don't get to keep it. I think I Ultraxion also. I'm not entirely sure how to go about this turn. Like, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything super powerful over there. But this deck does have some explosive potential once they get to the point of
Please allow me to take my time.
playing their colossal minion, and then
Not a virtue I pride myself
they
on.
play, what is it, Memoriam, something like that, where they can get it back and get the value again. I think this is fine. Oh, I should have put this over here, darn it. Oh well. It's big. That's all that matters. Yeah, that is one of the things that comes up in these videos. Like, y'all gotta be a little lenient with the misplays now and then, because, I mean, I like to think I'm pretty good at Hearthstone, but I am definitely not a pro player, so there are mistakes that happen from time to time, but all you can do is learn from those, obviously. And I feel like it's probably better to see someone else make the mistake, and then so that gives you a reminder not to make that mistake when you're playing the deck. Moonjockey says, "Did you like playing in the qualifier?" It was interesting, to say the least. It was my second tournament ever. I played some random cash tournament the day before just to test before the qualifier, and the weird part is, like, if you lose your first round or two, a lot of times your third or fourth round, people just don't show up. Because I don't know for sure, but I don't think there's a way to drop from the tournament. So they don't end up matching up players that are still in it. You'll get matched up with somebody that's like, I went 0-2, so I don't care. So I found that kind of unfortunate.
Please allow me to take my time.
Ooh. We can possess Animancer and Hellfire. It's not bad. But the qualifier was interesting. It was good experience at the very least. I find that it's a good way to kind of get a little litmus test of the metagame. Because I think the cash tournament I played is where I found Egg Warrior for the first time. Because I was playing against somebody who was playing that deck. And then I started delving into that and really found the concept to be very interesting. And especially with Torch and stuff, the deck is fantastic. But basically everybody was playing Imbue Druid plus two other decks. It was a lot of Shaman and Druid, and then just like one little kind of X factor depending on what they thought the weakness in the metagame was going to be. This is a tough one, honestly. I think I'm going to do this and this. That's not bad, but I don't know. I want to see what else they got here. I'm very surprised that they haven't done anything super crazy over there yet. Usually, Death Knight has a lot higher power level, and I don't know. But yeah, qualifiers and tournaments I think are a really interesting experience. And even if you're not very good, like, I knew from the get-go I wasn't going to do super well because first player I played against, I think they were like 700 legend. I'm like 8,000, almost 9,000. Once I make it as a legend, I don't care about my rating. I just play whatever I want to play. But for the legend run, I usually try to be very competitive. Well, that was a turn. But I played against guys that were like 500 legend, like pretty up there in terms of all it is. Yeah, they might be waiting for me to play Umbra. You got a very good point, Moonjockey. I don't hate Hellfire here. Hellfire plus Conflagrate, I guess. Oh, you know what? And then I can Arch... Ah, that's not bad.
Please allow me to take my time.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking my time here. I could attack here and then Hellfire. That'll make sure this guy is gone. They'll be left with this, which isn't... Yeah, I think that's okay. I don't love it, but we're just going to see what we can do here. And I think I Rotten Apples also. Let's throw this out there. And let's draw a card. Dang, the worst possible draw. No. And I'm not playing Ysera or anything, so this is just unplayable now. There is the guy, actually worth considering for this deck, that shuffles a card from your hand back into your deck. So that would probably be worth playing in this. I'm actually going to, yeah, I got to make a note about that. Got to play the shuffle guy in this if I'm going to play Animancer. But this is also one of the benefits of playing silly decks like this. You're like, oh, okay, this kind of evolves. Now I've got, you know, a reason to play that guy, which that's also one of those cards. Sometimes you see something and you're like, this looks powerful, but you got to find the right home for a card a lot of times. So like the guy that shuffles a card from your hand into your deck to draw a card, there's definitely some use to that, but it's got to fit the right shell. You can't do that for the sake of doing it. Like, you know, you draw a 10 drop and you're like, oh, I want to shuffle this back so I can get something I can play. It's like, that's not necessarily good. But if you can do it with purpose, like Ultragigasaur or, what else? Like I played a silly deck called Scam Paladin. It was apparently on a Reddit thread. I got blown out by a dude went Finja, attacked with Finja, and got double Tyrannigill. And I was like, okay, I gotta try this. So he pointed me in the right direction. I found the deck, and another bad draw. And so in that deck, you play the shuffle guy, because then you shuffle Tyrannigill back. So like, there's some purpose there, even though it's pretty bad. What can I draw here that would actually help win the game? I'm out of Hellfire.
Pay me no mind.
I mean, Deathwing would be a cool draw. Endbringer could be okay. Yeah, let's see. Sure. Okay. Which one do I take is the question. I want to say Deathwing's a little better. It clears their board, it gives me armor, and my hero power is quite aggressive.
It's not a virtue I pride.
Yeah, we're just gonna run it. Gotta hurry. 4 damage. 12. Attack! Did they miss their last turn? They went straight to rope. Yeah, I do like the versatility that that Deathwing brings, because it's almost like another win condition. I'm glad I only had 2 Cataclysms. I don't think I would have made it. Alright, so we got him. So surprisingly, 2-0. Yeah, if that first Warlock I played against had Cursed Chains, I think I would have been in much worse spot. Deathwing is like the new Ziliax. Yes, without a doubt. Yeah. I used to always say for that last format, Elise and Ziliax were like the format-defining cards. That and Dark Gifts were like honorable mention between Creature of Madness, Nightmare Lord, and stuff like that. So if you weren't playing them, then you're just behind the decks that are playing them. I think Deathwing's definitely the same, especially with Ultraxion. Making Deathwing cost less is so powerful. Dude, I'm actually bummed that Elise got nerfed. I liked Elise a lot, and now it's like almost not playable. Speaking of which, I actually should consider Elise in this deck. I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. I have 10 costs in here. I should be playing Elise also. Alright. Oops. Yeah, Ultragigasaur gives that extra element of an extra cost, which I like. Rotten Apple could be okay, but not till later, so I think it's worth tossing. Cursed Catacombs is usually only good, like, turn 5 or later. I hate doing it early and then being forced to just ditch a card. Oof! Oof! The Ultragigasaur in the opening hand is... Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Okay. Alright, let's see what we can do here. That's real rough. But I do miss Elise in her original state.
Won't be long now.
I think Elise was a little oppressive here and there. And she's definitely still good, but maybe it's just the nostalgia speaking to me, where I'm bummed that I can't play the cool card I used to like playing. I'm still convinced this is not a good card. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't dig this card. Having a coin to trigger combo is probably cool, but like you're literally giving up another card for it. I can't imagine that's worth it most of the time. But enough people play it that I'm open to being wrong. I'm very surprised I'm 2-0 so far. Like, going 0-5 with just Egg Warlock really made me hesitant to play this again, but I wanted to play Possessed Animancer so bad. Let's see here. Yeah, we're just gonna live the dream a little bit. Ooh la la. Yeah, draws like this are fantastic, where you can break your egg a couple times a turn. Like, getting to your egg by turn 5 or 6 is decent. Sometimes a little slow, though. Like, I still don't like the Shaman matchup. I think if I'm hoping I play against a Shaman just to see how bad that is. As well as Hex. I think a lot of the Shaman decks are starting to play Hex. I've even seen Imbue Druids that play Royal Librarian, because if you can, like if you're playing against the egg decks, if you can get rid of the egg, then they essentially have no win condition. That's one of the things that drew me to Possessed Animancer in this, and the Warrior Quest in the Egg Warrior deck. 3 more breaks. I think Cursed Catacombs is probably safe here. I want Possessed Animancer, but I think Hellfire is correct.
Feel my wrath. I am insatiable.
Alright, one more break, I think? Yeah, one more break, and we got a 20/20. And got Endbringer ready to go.
Home in the shadows.
Just gotta find something to break it with. Yeah, Rogue is surprisingly powerful. I wasn't a big fan of the deck at first, but I think once they found the right combination of cards, or maybe the metagame just had to kind of settle. I always like to say you give the metagame like a good week or so before it'll settle and you can find, you know, the most broken thing to do, or at least like a good 4 or 5 decks that are kind of established in the metagame. Yeah, we'll do this. I'm not worried because I got Rotten Apple. There it is. They have 12 attack total here, so I guess I'm not worried about this. I also get to draw a card. Whoo! Yes, please. The best possible. That was great. Better to be lucky than good, right? I don't know if LSV said that first, but LSV, famous professional Magic player, he always says better to be lucky than good. And it's just... it is so true. Alright, let's see if they can break it. And then deal with another one. Boom. Alright. I guess they couldn't. Alright, 3-0. This is incredibly surprising. Maybe I was playing really poorly the last time I played Egg Warlock. Maybe I had bad matchups. Let me see, actually. What was I playing against when I played it? Egg Warrior. Egg Warrior. Elemental. Egg Warlock. I played against... Oh, I played against Grave Strength Death Knight. That's pretty tough. They're aggressive as hell. Imbue Druid. Another Egg Warlock deck that I remember stole my egg, I think. And Paladin. So yeah, Imbue Druid, probably not a great matchup. And here's a Paladin. I am assuming they're probably Aura Paladin. I think that's the only Paladin deck worth playing, at least in my opinion right now. Question is, do I keep all this type of stuff? I don't know that I do. Hellfire's fine. Yeah, we're gonna try this. Dude, with the Ultragigasaurs in the opening hand, this is insane. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, Eggbearer is helpful. Yeah, I really gotta play that shuffle guy. Mm-hmm. Aura, aura.
Won't be long now.
Nightmares are never forgotten.
Yeah, Aura Paladin is not very good in my opinion. It's got some powerful cards. I'm a little sad that we had such a good Aura deck for so long, and it just, between the Ursine Maul nerf and I don't think they have any way to silence. Yeah, I think I'm okay here. But yeah, it's a bummer that this deck is just a shell of what it used to be. Yeah, I guess that's fine.
I am time.
That's a card right there.
Your time is
That is definitely a card. So Hellfire plus this on that. They draw a card, but this is a really difficult guy to deal with. Probably more so than Torith.
It is good to think these things through.
I could Cursed Catacombs to have a little bit more information, but I think I'll probably wait till next turn.
Feel my wrath.
God, this feels so bad. Yeah, I hate using Conflagrate on their minions. Whoo! Okay. I think the order was a little off there, buddy. You might want to... okay. This is hell aggressive. Alright, Cursed Chains... I mean, could buy me time, but probably not great here. Rotten Apple could help. I guess I just take Ultraxion, play that, eat my egg.
It is good to think these.
I got a
things
Rotten
through.
Apple for next turn. But how much do they have? They have 21 attack. I can't justify Ultraxion. All right, we'll take the apple. I'm trying to think of what I would even want here, because I've only got one more Hellfire.
It's not a virtue I pride myself on.
Yeah, this is rough. I guess we'll just
Long now.
throw something out there to pop a shield. I mean, shoot. Whew, alright, 25 attack.
Light dims, but we fight.
So, is there any hope of winning this game? I'm doubtful. And then at the end of my turn, I'm going to take another 3 damage, so I have to Rotten Apple again. Gain 12, take 6. Drain Soul's helpful, but I'm so far from cracking that egg. Another Drained Soul, I guess, is helpful. God, this is rough. So there's, what, 4 cracks, 2 Drained Souls, Rotten Apple. This is a bad position.
Pay me no mind.
And I can't even attack this guy because of the Righteous Protector. That was very well timed on their part. So I gotta do this.
I am insatiable.
Is there a way I can win this game? I don't know that I can. Yeah, this is... Yeah, we're just stuck here. Got a Rotten Apple, go to 20, they got 22 attack, yeah.
You really are something.
Very well played. Oh, yeah, Moonjockey says, I do like using Conflagrate on the opponent if it burns them a card. Oh, same. Yeah, same thing with Mimicry. I'm not a big fan of Mimicry, but if it burns them cards and I get free cards, I'm all for it. Alright, so 3 and 1, not bad. One more game. I usually like to play 5 at a time. It's been an interesting set of games, though. Didn't see any other auras, so I guess that was Aura Paladin. It had cards that are in that deck, but I didn't see any other auras. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess Aura Paladin is just kind of an aggro deck now. Yeah, it's I mean, it's a decent deck. I'm just not a super big fan of it. I think I've done one video with it so far. Something like that. But, yeah, didn't love the performance of it. I went 2 and 3. I played against aggressive Druid decks twice, though. I don't know. Okay, we're getting rid of this. This seems okay. Double Eggbearer, come on. Alright. I do like Mage a little bit right now. Mage is pretty cute, if anything. Like I've played... I think I did a couple of videos with Burn Mage so far. And there is some explosive potential with the deck. I think Living Flame is probably a part of the better build. But it's an interesting mix with Mage right now because there's like 3 different 1-drops you can play. There's the guy that discovers a 1-cast spell. There's the guy that gives you arcane missiles, and then there's Time Twisted Seer. So I think the decks are getting a little bit more minion heavy, which I'm not sure is a good thing. Let's do this, I suppose. But then it becomes kind of awkward, because then you have to decide, like, okay, you're definitely playing the 4-cost guy that gives your whole deck spell damage +1, but are you playing Battlefield Blaster, the 3-mana guy that gives 1 spell +1 spell damage? Like, some decks aren't even playing Runed Orb because you got to fit all these other elements in it. It's a weird mix. I hope the deck is better once we find the ideal mix of cards, but it's in an awkward spot right now. Possessed Animancer might be the best play here, honestly. Because I can Hellfire next turn. They'll draw, you know, some fire spells off their elementals, but having a lifelink 14/28 is pretty strong. You know, who would have thought? But yeah, overall I like Mage, but until it figures itself out, it feels like a teenager that's still trying to figure out what the hell it's doing with its life. That's always Mage. That is a fair point. That is fair. Yeah, I think a lot of the Mage decks recently have been kind of like that. They... Oh my god. They took my Animancer. That's just rude. And I don't have any fire spells. How dare you? Yeah, that's a little bit more awkward now. Just a wee bit. I think I have to do this, but I don't like it. Thankfully, no arcane flow in their hand yet. Oh, that is a fire spell. Nothing got highlighted when I hovered, so that's a little better, I guess. Yeah, I can't justify giving them a card, but I think I can take it. And believe it or not, I think I'm just going to do this. We're just going to get a board presence out here. Wow! Okay, good. Alright. So I got the double death rattle. Hellfire is... Oh, it is a fire spell. Okay. Yeah, I hovered over Living Flame, and normally HS Tracker will tell you exactly what a card will get. It didn't show me anything, so I just assumed. That was unfair. So I've got Hellfire and Conflagrate. Did their hero just, like, taunt me? Is this GTA? What's happening? Oy, Eternal Firebolt. Now that's a card. How many breaks? 3 breaks away. Oy. Alright, decent draw. I really wanted a Rotten Apple here. Drain Soul is fine, though. So 3 cracks away for there. I can crack 3, but I'm going to be at a pretty low life total, unfortunately. I think my best chance is just going for it, though. Yeah, let's do it.
I am insatiable.
Ooh, there's a Rotten Apple. I'm actually thinking I'm going to do that. Draw your fire spell. I think it's okay. Oh no, we lagging on Twitch. Well, we lagging overall. Darn. Sorry guys, my recording software has been a little annoying lately. Let's see, is that any better?
Your fate is twisted with ruin.
Not much. Alright, well back to 17. Oh, there was an Ultragigasaur, okay. Yeah, fun times. I think we're just gonna take that. It'll hold them off for a turn, which is helpful. Hellfire does 5 now. Yeah, definitely don't want to do that. And let's get our 2020. Ooh, and that's -5 spell damage. Wow, I guess that applies to that too. That's really unfortunate. Okay. Can they get us here? Ooh, I think they might have us.
None shall.
Ooh, Black Knight? They really just play Black Knight? That's insane. Bruh. Bruh. This is rough.
I don't even have to concentrate. Little time.
Plus the Arcane Flow. Good God. Alright. That's pretty rough. Well, Endbringer is something, but being at 4 life, I don't think I'm going to survive regardless. That sucks. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much the only option I have. Shoot.
Take my time.
I don't remember if I'm going to take another 3 damage at the end of my turn. I want to say I took all the Rotten Apple damage already. Yeah, alright, that's probably all she wrote, but let's find out. Hopefully they just got minions left over in their hand. Yeah, I can't believe they play the Black Knight. That's just craziness. Oh, there's an Arcane Flow. Alright, we're dead.
You really are something.
Yes,
So rare for you
that sucks.
expectations.
Alright, so went 3 and 2. It's not the worst. It's definitely better than 0 and 5, which I went with just straight Egg Warlock before. Not sure how much of that, like I mentioned before, is the Animancer, or just maybe playing a little better than I did last time, or having better matchups. So, reasonable. It is 60% win rate, but it is also a very small sample size. So, definitely needs more testing to figure out exactly how well this deck does. But I'm going to keep playing, and definitely check out the other videos on the YouTube. Tons of decks from the metagame, trying to play as much as I can to really get a feel for how this metagame is going to continue to evolve. So, yeah, like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that fun stuff, you know. Peace and love, guys.